Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Wednesday's maths lesson. I hope you're ready for some more super maths work today. So let's get started and let's see the things that we are going to need for today's lesson. As always, we will need a dry white pen, pencil and paper, and some things to count, just like we have in our previous lessons. Things like pasta, Lego bricks, pebbles, or buttons, and you're going to need about 30 of them. So pause the video here, see if you can run and collect all of those things in 2 minutes. See you in a moment. Okay, let's get on with our maths lesson then. Now, before we do our warm-up activity, we're just going to remember something that we looked at the end of yesterday's lesson. So I've got here 2 sticks of cubes, and altogether I've got 20 cubes there, 2 lots of 10. And we've been looking at how we can divide things, how we can share things. And I could split those cubes up into 4 groups. And if I did that, in each of those 4 groups, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes. So I've got 4 groups, and there's 5 in each group. So my number sentence, my division number sentence here is 20 divided by 4 equals 5. We had 20 cubes, we split them into 4 groups, and there's 5 in each group. Now we could look at these in a slightly different way. We could think, well, we have got 4 groups, and in each of those 4 groups we have got 5 cubes, so we've got 4 lots of 5, and if we've got 4 lots of 5 all together, that's 20 cubes. So 4 times 5 equals 20, and that multiplication number sentence is the inverse, the opposite if you like, of the division one. Now we could split those cubes up in a different way. So here we are, there's our 20 cubes. We could split them into 5 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if we did that, in each of those groups, there would be 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes. So we had 20 cubes, we split them into 5 groups, we ended up with 4. So 20 divided by 5 equals 4. And we could think of those 5 groups in a different way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups, each with 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes. So we've got 5 lots of 4. All together makes 20 cubes. So we have got 4 number sentences there, 2 division and 2 multiplication ones, all using the numbers 20, 5, and 4. And they are what we might call a fact family. And we're going to start off today's maths lesson with a little bit of a warm-up activity to see if you can come up with all of the number sentences in our fact family. So you can choose which of these activities you would like to do. So we'll start off with the first fact family, and in our triangle there, you can see the numbers 10, excuse me, 5 and 2. So all the numbers are already there, and you've just got to arrange them to make 2 multiplication number sentences and 2 division. And then the next question along, the next activity, you have got one of the numbers missing. So your first job there, we've got 35 and 5, work out what is the missing number in that triangle. Once you've got that, you can write down the 2 multiplication number sentences and the 2 division ones. And then the next one along, we have got the numbers 120 and the number 12. What is the missing number there? And you can write down the 2 division and the 2 multiplication number sentences that go with it. So choose which activity you're going to do. There's 60 seconds on the clock for you to write down your 4 number sentences, and your time starts now. Okay, so we're halfway through our time now. Keep going. If you finish the task you're on, you could go on to another one. Okay, last 10 seconds. And that's it. Time is up. But I'll give you a secret. If you haven't quite finished, pause the video here and you can finish the activity. Okay, I hope you got on okay with those. Let's go through the answer, shall we? So on our first one with our numbers 10, 5, and 2, here are the number sentences. 5 times 2 is 10, 2 times 5 is 10, and you might have had those the other way around, it doesn't matter. 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 10 divided by 5 equals 2. Well done if you got those ones. On to the next one. First of all, the missing number was 7. So our number sentences are 7 times 5 is 35, 5 times 7 is 35. 35 divided by 5 is 7, and 35 divided by 7 equals 5. Well done if you got that one. On to the final one. The missing number this time was 10. 120 divided by 12 is 10. 120 divided by 10 is 12. 10 times 12 is 120, and 12 times 10 is 120. Well done if you've got the number sentences. Doesn't matter if you've got them in a different order. Super work, everybody. Hopefully your maths brains are warmed up. Now then, on to the rest of the lesson. And we've been thinking about sharing in the last few lessons, and today we're going to be looking at something called grouping. But before we do that, let's just recap on sharing. Here is our friend Wilf, and he's got 8 oranges, and he wants to share them out equally like we've been doing in the last few lessons. And because you're experts at this, I think that you could pause the video here. First things first, write down the number sentence and then use your objects that you've got to work out what the answer would be if he's got 8 shared equally into 4 groups. How many in each group? Okay, let's see what we've got. First of all, our number sentence. We've got 8 divided into 4. How many would we have in each group if they're shared equally? Let's do it then. 1 for you, 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 a 1 for you, 1 for you, and 1 for you. So in each of those bowls there, we have got 2 oranges. So 8 shared into 4 groups would give us 2 oranges in each group. So that's sharing. Now we're going to look at this slightly differently. Here's Wilf again. He's got 8 oranges again, but rather than sharing the oranges out equally, this time he's going to put them into groups. So if he was going to put them into groups of 2, how many groups could he make? Now the first thing we need to do is to write down our number sentence. So this time it's 8 divided by 2, that's what we're trying to find the answer to. How many groups of 2 can we make? So we're going to do this slightly differently. So I'm going to get a bowl and I'm going to put my 2 oranges in. Then I'm going to get another bowl, 2 oranges go in that one. I'll need another bowl, 2 oranges. I'm going to need another bowl and I can put 2 oranges in there. So you can see I've put my oranges into groups of 2 and I needed 1, 2, 3, 4 bowls. So the answer to this question, 8 divided by 2, is 4. Now you can pause the video here and just have a go at solving that problem at home using your counters or your buttons or whatever it is. Okay, let's go on to another question. Now, here we've got a question about 30 children in a class, and the 30 children in a class sit 5 at a table. So every table has got 5 children sat at it. So how many tables would we need if 5 children are sat at a table? If we're putting them into groups of 5, how many groups of 5 would that be? So the first thing to do is to think, what is our number sentence? You can pause the video and write the number sentence down. Okay. Now, once you've got the number sentence down, you need to get your 30 objects and try and put them into groups of 5. And then once you've done that, you can come back and see if we can go through the answer all together. Okay, here's our number sentence then. 30 divided by 5 is what we're trying to work out. How many groups of 5 can I make? So let's do this by putting them into groups of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's one group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got another group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's make another group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And another group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And another group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've used up all of my 30 pieces of pasta. So all together I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups. So the answer to this problem, how many tables will we need? We need 6 tables if we have 5 children at each table. Now you can pause the video and just check that you've done this correctly yourself. Have another go if you didn't. Okay, on to another problem. Now here's our friend Poppy. Poppy has got 20 Lego bricks and she wants to put them together into blocks of 4 bricks. How many blocks does she build? Now what I would like you to do is to think about this question, pause the video, work out first of all what is the number sentence, and then using 20 objects see if you can work out how many groups of 4 you can make. So go and have a go at that and come back once you've done it, unpause the video. See you in a moment. Okay, how did you get on? Here's our number sentence first of all. So 20 divided by 4. How many groups of 4 can we make? So with my Lego bricks here, I'm going to put them into groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's one group. Another group of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to make another group of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And another group of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And another group of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've put my 20 bricks into groups of 4 and I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups. So how many blocks does she build? She builds 5 blocks of 4. So that is grouping. And I think we're ready for you to have a go at some tasks for yourself. So the first task we've got some simple grouping problems for you. You might be able to, you might decide you want to do that one. All of you should be able to attempt that task. Then the next one, we've got some a bit more challenging grouping problems that most of you will be able to have a go at. And then we've got some comparing division questions that some of you might want to have a go at as well. So on to our first problem. It says, Sonny has 20 apples. He puts them into bags. How many bags will he need if? So there's 4 different questions to work out. So he's got his 20 apples. So if he puts 2 apples into each bag, how many bags will he need? Or if he puts 4 apples into each bag, how many will he need? If he puts 5 apples in a bag and 10 apples in a bag. So remember, he's always got 20 apples. He's going to group them in different ways. If you'd like to have a go at this problem, pause the video here and it should take you no longer than 15 minutes. And then come back once you've done it. See you in a moment if you're trying this activity. Okay, on to our next activity that you might decide to do. And the first question here is all about Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. And it says, can you help Willy Wonka package his sweets? How many bags will he need? So here it tells you how many sweets he's got and how many sweets he needs to put in each bag. So first of all, he's got 20 sweets. He needs to put 5 in each group, in each bag. How many bags will he need? So you need to write the number sentence and work it out. Then he's got 24 sweets and he has to put 8 in each bag. How many bags will he need? 35 sweets with 7 in the bag. How many bags will he need for that? And then 27 sweets. If he puts 9 in each bag, how many bags will he need? Then the next question along is about the Oompa Loompas who are traveling in their train. And it says 3 Oompa Loompas fit in a carriage. How many carriages will be needed on the train for 12 Oompa Loompas, for 18 Oompa Loompas, and 27 Oompa Loompas? And I've spelt that Oompa Loompas there. Let's just correct that, change the M for an O. Okay, so you need to work out how many carriages will be needed. And then on to the last question there, how many ways can you find of grouping a class of 30 children? And one's been done for you here. So one way of doing it would be to put the children into groups of 2. And if we did that, we would have 15 groups of children. But there's lots of other ways to do it. Can you find out all of the different ways? So if you want to try those questions, pause the video here, and it should take you no longer than 15 minutes to complete those questions. Okay. On to the last task that you might decide to do. And this one is about comparing number sentences. So can you see we've got some number sentences. We've got them in pairs, and in the middle, you've got to decide whether or not the number sentence on the left is the answer is less than, more than, or equal to the answer on the right. So you would solve 35 divided by 5, you'd find out the answer. And then you would solve 24 divided by 3, and then you have to put the symbol in the middle to say whether the 35 divided by 5 is less than, more than, or equal to 24 divided by 3. And I think that should take you no longer than 10 minutes. So pause the video here if you're going to try that one. See you in a moment. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Let's go through the answers to see how you got on with these. So Sonny's problem with his apples. The first one, 20 apples with 2 in each bag, he would need 10 bags. Then if he put 4 in each bag, he would need 5 bags. 20 apples with 5 in each bag, he would need 4. And then if he put 10 in each bag, he would need 2. 20 divided by 10 equals 2. Well done if you got those ones correct. On to our Willy Wonka problems. So, sorting those sweets into bags. How many bags would he need? So 20 divided by 5 equals 4. He'd need 4 bags. 24 divided by 8 is 3. 35 divided by 7 is 5. And 27 divided by 9 is 3. He would need 3 bags if he put 9 sweets in each bag. Then on to the Oompa Loompa problems. Still got my spelling mistake in there. Let me just correct that one. So 3 Oompa Loompas can fit in a carriage. How many carriages are needed for 12 Oompa Loompas? Well, 12 divided by 3, he'd need 4 carriages. For 18 Oompa Loompas, 18 divided by 3 would be 6. And for 27 Oompa Loompas, he would need 9 carriages. And then how many ways could you find of grouping 30 children? Well, we've done one already. 30 divided by 2 equals 15. So we could put them into groups of 3, and then there'd be 10 groups of 3. If we put them into groups of 5, that would be 6 groups. If we put them into groups of 6, then there would be 5 groups. And if we put them into groups of 10, there would be 3 groups. Okay, on to the final question. It says, compare the number sentences using the less than, the greater than, and the equal sign. So the first one, 35 divided by 5 is 7, and that is less than 24 divided by 3, which is 8. 40 divided by 8 is 5, which is less than 24 divided by 4, because that is 6. 12 divided by 2 is 6, and that is greater than 50 divided by 10, because that is 5. Then 60 divided by 5 is 12, which is the same as 120 divided by 10, because that is also 12. Well done if you got those ones correct. And that brings us to the end of today's maths lesson on grouping. I hope you've done well with that, and I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's maths lesson. Until then, goodbye.